Alex here again with some Elden Ring, and today I'm breaking down one of my personal favorite builds that got me through a large portion of Shadow of the Erdtree. The setup focuses on a hand-to-hand weapon, the DRYLEAF ARTS, infused with the Cold affinity along with the DRYLEAF WHIRLWIND Ash of War. This combo deals quick damage bursts and rapidly inflicts frostbite, leading to a big chunk of the enemy health going bye-bye. Now a quick overview before I break everything down individually. DRYLEAF ARTS as the weapon, the full RAKSHASA armor set, Rotten Winged Sword Insignia, Shattered Stone Talisman, Blessed Blue Dew Talisman, and the last one is up to your own preference. I have the DRAGONCREST GREATSHIELD in that spot. The character stats need to be a pretty even distribution of high strength, dex, and intelligence. The DRYLEAF Arts are going to give you a really fluid moveset that multi-hits each attack if you two-hand it, or your hands. The DRYLEAF Whirlwind is a key weapon skill, sending you into the air with a sequence of kicks, costing very little FP. The hand-to-hand weapon types also give you one of the most satisfying open-hand palm slaps in the entire game. Now another important element, wait a second, one more time. Okay, another important element is modifying your equipped Ash of War on the DRYLEAF Arts to the Cold affinity. That changes it so each attack inflicts frost buildup and does cold damage, while changing its scaling to a C in strength, C in dex, and a B in intelligence. An optional addition to this build is actually to have a fire-based weapon in your offhand. Like here, having another hand-to-hand weapon in my second hand, giving me a power stance attack that hits with both frost buildup and fire. You can reset the buildup of frostbite by inflicting fire damage, so after you see their health bar pop with frostbite, touch them with a fire attack to set them up to be frostbitten again. The armor set for this build can be pretty much anything you want, it's a minor part of it, but I'm using the RAKSHASA set. Each piece of that set gives a passive bonus that increases your outgoing damage, but also increases the damage you take. The Rotten Winged Sword Insignia gives an attack power boost after successive hits. Using 2 of your light attacks will activate this effect. Just 1 use of your heavy attack, or 1 use of the DRYLEAF Whirlwind. The Shattered Stone Talisman raises the potency of kick and stomping skills. This is going to increase the power of the DRYLEAF Whirlwind skill, which uses both your feats. Then I have on the Blessed Blue Dew Talisman, which gives you passive FP regen. The DRYLEAF Whirlwind skill doesn't cost much FP to use at all, especially for how strong it is, but this ensures you have enough FP at hand to spam it if you feel like it. And like I said before, for this last spot, put whatever you want. I have some physical damage negation from the DRAGONCREST GREATSHIELD Talisman. You combine and jam all that stuff together, and that is my primary build. It's fast, fun to use, and strong enough to get you through the entire expansion. I know. Now, if you want to put together the very basic fundamentals of this build early on, here's how to obtain the DRYLEAF Arts weapon. Head north from the starting point of the expansion. Go across the big bridge with the ballista at the end. Take a right and approach this cliff with a dude that's looking over it. Make your way downward from there, and then over to spot 1 that I put on the map. You'll need to hit and break this rock pile to activate the nearby spirit spring. Use that to launch yourself up, and then another one that's right next to it. That'll put you right in the back of this castle. Make your way out the front of that castle, and head to the large opening in the rocks to spot 2 that I put on the map. Okay, from there, head north up and around to spot 3, and you'll see an emote on the ground, "May the best win." From there, real close by to spot 4 on the map to find DRYLEAF Dane. Use the emote "May the best win" in front of him, and then you'll have to, of course, fight him. After you exit that arena, you'll see nearby on the ground his hand-to-hand weapon type, the DRYLEAF Arts. Yes, and his hat. If you go in and modify the DRYLEAF Arts default Palm Strike Ash of War, you can change its affinity to cold to somewhat get the build going early on. The next step is to get the DRYLEAF Whirlwind Ash of War, which is much more involved later in the game. You'll pretty much have to head north to the Shadow Keep, progress through that giant place, and beat the main boss there. Then you can head across this bridge to the west to the Ancient Ruins. Northeast from the Ancient Ruins east waypoint, very close to it, you'll find the DRYLEAF Whirlwind laying there on the ground. I'll put a link in the description for a more detailed overview of how to progress up to that point. Next is the RAKSHASA armor set. You'll have to fight a mini-boss for this set, over at the Eastern Nameless Mausoleum. This is another one that stems off from the Shadow Keep location, this time being somewhat of a hidden route, so I'll put a link in the description to how to get to that one as well. Actually, every item in this video I'll have a link in the description. The Rotten Wings Sword Insignia is from the base game of Elden Ring, far up north in the Big Tree place. The Shattered Stone Talisman can be found in the Morth Ruins, which is right next to the spot where we obtained the DRYLEAF Arts. The Blessed Blue Dew Talisman can be found at the Church of Benediction. The DRAGONCREST GREATSHIELD Talisman can be found in the original map up north in the Big Tree as well. This talisman slot is replaceable though, so you could put something like the Erdtree's Favor or the Godskin Swaddling Cloth if you'd like some health back from some of those combos. And last, I briefly showed this optional hand-to-hand weapon, DANE'S FOOTWORK, but to get that, you have to have beaten the final boss of the expansion, and it's found nearby that final boss arena. Alright, so that was a quick summary of the Cold DRYLEAF Arts build, and let me know what you think, or how you plan to alter it. If you want to see how I naturally play this setup, I'll put some raw gameplay I captured from my playthrough. I'm Alex, thanks for watching.